What's up, guys? Welcome and thanks for joining another Warhammer 3 casted replay. Today we have myself playing on the Tomb Kings versus Gandalf playing on the Dark Elves. A little bit different today. We're going to be playing a game of conquest. Basically the exact same thing as a land battle, just point of interest in the middle to fight over. Alright, let's take a quick look at both of the army compositions. For my opponent, Gandalf, playing on the Dark Elves, we have a front line, well, a skirmishing front line of Raven Herald Dark Riders, Regiment of Renowned Dark Riders, basically flying Dark Riders, range of 115, missile strength of 49, armor piercing, and quite a fast speed of 105, really fast speed of 105. Over on the left, his left, we have Shades, 3 units of Shades with great swords. Really good range unit, range of 130, missile strength of 30, armor piercing, and quite good melee combatants as well. Over more towards the core, we have a front line of Dread Spears, just the regular basic Dark Elf Spears. We have in the back Witch Elves, I believe 2 units of Witch Elves, and also a regiment of renowned Sisters of the Singing Doom Witch Elves, and 1 unit of Sisters of Slaughter. For a hero, we have a Death Hag, providing a large AoE buff to all of these melee units, armor piercing, weapon damage, and leadership, and a few other things I do believe, and also some active and passive abilities going on there. So more or less just a ton of fighting type buffs. For the Lord, we have Crone Hellebron, weapon strength of 388, anti-infantry, armor piercing, also has a melee attack of 80, quite high, leadership really high, especially with all the buffs, and poison attacks as well, along with all the other infantry providing poison. So debuffs and buff kind of combo. I like it. It's kind of a tough, elite little core here all buffed up. I believe that covers the Dark Elves. For myself, playing on the Tomb Kings, we have a front line of 3 Skeletal Warriors, just the basic 300 gold or 350, whatever they are. Skeletal Warriors, shielded, cheap, kind of chaff, but they do have shields, which aren't too bad. They will block quite a bit, but not much for melee stats. Right behind them in the secondary line, we have 2 units of Tomb Guards. These are getting a little bit better. They have decent leadership and pretty good melee attack and melee defense. Weapon strength of 42. Tomb Guards are definitely a solid mid-tier infantry. Right behind them, we have 3 units of Skeletal Archers. These are just the basic variety. No armor piercing, no poison or anything like that, but a decent range of 140, a good amount of ammunition, and not the end of the world if you lose them, but nice if they stay alive and get to shoot away behind your frontline units. In the back and off to the sides, we have scattered about 4 different units of Skeletal Spearmen. They're all the same, not different units, they're all the same, just basic Skeletal Spearmen, keeping them kind of on the sides and in the back. Not sure what my opponent was going to have a lot of air or dragons or maybe heavy cavalry, I wasn't sure. So keeping them around the back, around my archers and around my main core here to keep them safe. Over on my right backside, we have a Tomb Scorpion. Very good anti-infantry unit. Armor piercing, has decent armor itself. Good weapon strength. Poison. Not too bad of leadership. They are quite slow, but you get them into the front line, into the enemy infantry, fighting alongside your infantry, and they are really good and effective. They're also quite hard to hit with their kind of low-to-the-ground profile. They're not even taller than the infantry, basically, so it's pretty nice. For my Lord, we have Grand Hierophant Ketep on the Soul Casket. This is basically a giant artillery piece, and I just have a couple spells, I think physical resistance, and yeah, Lore of Nakara, or not Lore of Nakara, Incantation of Vengeance, which is just damage over time to units of 25 units or above. Bone Giant, he's my artillery piece and my anti-large, really good at taking out anti-large targets. Anything big this guy will hit. Not even bad at taking out cavalry and things like that as well. And when he runs out of ammo, you can just use him as a giant fighting. Not the best melee stats at all, but you can still use them later on. And we also have a WARSPHINX. I'm not sure if I even realized that this was the shooting variety, but that's cool too, I guess. Unless this was added recently, I'm not sure. But the WARSPHINX, he's going to kind of be my bodyguard for my backline, for my big bone giant monkey, and my Lord back here. And right beside him, we just have more basic spearmen and archers just to kind of hang around and fill in where help might be needed. Okay, without further ado, we will begin the battle. Gandalf the Grey back here, starting off pretty close to the front here. Going to be able to get to the point before me, that's for sure, but it's not a big deal when the enemy gets to the point before you, because you have lots of time to contest it and fight. Land battles can sometimes go really quick. Both armies just sort of getting into position here. I shifted myself a little bit left. He moves himself a little bit more closer to the point. Going to cap that point and use the trees here really nicely as cover so he can't take too much fire. Skirmish units going in. The Raven Heralds are going to go in and try to get a little bit of poke. Probably down. Yeah, it looks like they're targeting the Tomb Guards. Going to try to get a little poke on them, but they take a little poke back actually just from the basic archers. Trading up really well into a... what I would imagine is probably a pretty expensive unit. Oh, Bone Giant even getting a shot in there and taking out a model. So these guys aren't having a good time. Personally, I find flying units are a little bit tricky. They seem to... they kind of don't want to be under fire from anything. They seem to they just seem to get smoked by everything when they get shot. But that's just my personal opinion. You really need good micro to control these guys. Army's now coming together with a little bit of skirmishing not going so well. My anti-air is holding nicely. Soul Casket getting some nice shots in and a few clumped up infantry units. Just starting to chunk them down a little bit before the lines close together. Anti-air, 2 archer units now firing in on these guys, doing a really nice job. He's trying to come in to get some harass, but he's getting punished for it pretty nicely. 3 units of shades firing in on my 3rd archer over here on the right, absolutely demolishing it. One more volley and those will be done. I send my skeletal warriors up to try and tie them up, but he intercepts pretty nicely there, and we have a little bit of a clump on my right side. He's definitely overpowered here, but I have the advantage over on the left, and I'm kind of holding a little bit of a high ground here. Both the armies come together. We send in the infantry and the Scorpion to start taking out some of this front line. The Death Hag gets absolutely smoked by the Bone Giant a couple different times there and is not having a good time. This is literally besides maybe a Dread Saurian, this is literally like the best target my Bone Giant could have right now. Enemy Lord coming up really close into my Lord and my artillery and stuff. I'm not sure what they're going to try to do, but she gets absolutely bodied back down the hill, and I don't even think my guys really even noticed she was there. She did actually, okay, I'm not going to lie, that was a chunk. She took a quarter of the life off. We send in the Sphinx, we wake up a little bit, send her back down the hill, and countercharge her off. Murder's Prowess, the Dark Elf passive, coming in now. All their stats are boosted right up, attack speed and weapon damage and all that good stuff. Clashing with my front line. Skeleton's not going to win any of these fights, but they are definitely going to hold, so my back line can do its thing. Finally, Dark Riders come back in. I believe they commit here. Yeah, just going to commit in on some archers, going to try to take out what they can. Shouldn't have a big problem cleaning this stuff up right in the front. Casket doing a nice job. Artillery coming down, chipping away at that infantry. It's really the best thing I have right now, along with the Scorpion, to take out some of this mid-tier, pretty decent type infantry. All right, over on the wings, I guess we missed it, but I brought in 2 Carrions, Turkey Vultures on one of these shades, and just these 2 by themselves actually traded up. Oh, I shouldn't say traded up. I took out these shades by themselves, got them to rout, so that was pretty nice. Pretty good value with the Turkey Vultures, and they're now going to come back in and get back on these other shades, so getting real nice value out of these guys right now. I was pretty happy with them. Sphinx getting in a little bit of trouble, taking quite a bit of damage in the front there. He is sitting in some spears, and he is getting some debuffs and stuff, so he is taking quite damage there, but he is holding the front line for us. Unfortunately, we did lose the Scorpion. I kind of lost track of him. He was such a low profile, just kind of hidden in my infantry, and a little bit lost track of him there. Enemy Lord getting very low. They're going to be pulling back, getting a little low in their unit, and their support's getting a little low as well, so she pulls back. I call in my passive Ushopti Summon. That just kind of blocks up the front line a little more. Just don't want stuff kind of breaking through here, disrupting my steady fire. Vultures and Spears now on top of these shades. Neither one of these are going to trade that well into shades, especially with Witch Elves and the Lord nearby, so it is holding them up. Like, I know I sound like a broken record about things holding up, but that is kind of the job of my frontline units right now. One unit of Tomb Guard kind of sneaking through there once we broke through the middle, and they shifted hard to the left. We put some Tomb Guards in, just stuck them up here so we could take the point back, and at least I could control that and then bring them back into the battle, because most of my stuff's driven back here, and realistically I'm just not going to be able to drive everything up here and move my stuff around that much. Turkey Vulture's still flying around. I'm not sure where they're going right now, but they're pretty much done. But they did a good job. I was pretty happy with how those guys turned out. Cleaning up a lot of this infantry now. A lot of their units are very low. Still have the casket firing away on them. Sphinx helping clean up all these units right in the front. I have one pretty healthy unit of archers. I believe they're going to get a few shots in on these spears. We do want to take care of these, but the Bone Giant says, oh, I'll do it myself, and just gives them a big smash to the face. Spears and WARSPHINX fighting in the woods. Not the best spot for the WARSPHINX, but it's fine for now, I guess. He does, yes, get these Witch Elves to leave, so that is definitely nice. And he'll also turn and help with these Sisters of Slaughter if he can, but still some healthy shades. These shades are... The armor-piercing shots of these shades are really decimating my big targets. I have big targets as well that are also getting smoked. Scorpion already down. WARSPHINX. Oh, he's just a big kitty. He just wants to play, but that might be... Playtime might be over for this guy, because with the Lord here and these other Dark Shades, he doesn't have long for this world. Another unit of Dark Shades actually supporting them as well. He's going to take another volley here from both sides, and he goes down, unfortunately. That was a big loss to me, but we keep fighting away. It's turning into a grinding match. I have a few archers here firing away. Keeping these alive would have been great, or if I had more archers still. I should have focused fire these shades a little sooner. Letting them stay so healthy this long into the game was definitely a big slip up by me, but he did such a good job tying me up that I couldn't deal with him right away. Tomb Guards now rejoining the battle after capping the point here. Going to get to the back of these shades. They are starting to move. We are getting them to stop from fire, and they should do a little bit of decent damage to them. Now, we are kind of getting to the point in the game where it's getting a little kitey, it's getting a little grindy. We're just going to speed it up just a little bit so you guys can kind of see what happens. Still firing away. This guy's got... My Lord's got a few shots left in him. Let's see. 6 more ammunition, so we still have some good shots. I'm going to start targeting the most healthy targets I can find. And I do still probably have a Vortex or 2 to use as well if anything gets too close. Bringing back my Bone Giant, bringing back my Tomb Guard. We want to stay. We don't want to get all spread out here. We don't have much left. Got to kind of protect the Lord. Let him get all his shots off, and we'll use whatever spells we can. Bone Giant, not bad at... Yeah, no, not good. Not good at chasing things off. I was going to say not bad. Not good. He's too slow. If he gets there, he's great, but he just can't. He's too slow right now. 27 speed. He's not catching anything. The Lord here fires. It's my final shot. These shades are so low. My Lord is so low. Very accurate fire. I'm well within their range. They're not going to miss too much. I am half big sitting on this casket here. So I run out of ammo and I charge in. I don't have a choice. If I would have ran away, I would have been shot in the back, killed anyway. So in we go. We're dead. Back to the point. We shift back. I actually route his Lord right around the same time with the Bone Giant, but I knew that wasn't going to kill him. He was way too far from the edge. I couldn't run him off. Tomb Guard back on the point. We make sure we turn around at these shades. That's the word I want to say. Back at these shades, so the shields are facing, blocking a few shots. The Tomb Guard actually do get on them. These Tomb Guard were really solid. Did a good job. Routed off the shades, which was huge, taking care of some of that range. Bone Giant comes back. We're not going to catch the Lord, so we might as well turn back. Dread Spears go into a rampage. But I don't think it will be quite enough, and the Bone Giant gives a few more smacks there and drives them off the battlefield. Lord is crumbling, about to, well, they're rampaging right now, and then boom, it gives me the victory. I had control of the point, but the only thing left was going to be my Bone Giant and his Lord, and the Bone Giant probably only needed like 2 more hits on that thing, and it could have been dead, but it gave it to me, swung it into my favor. I'll take the win, but it was a very close game. It really could have gone either way. So, good game to my opponent. That was a fun match. Oh, I suppose we should. I always forget this. I don't know why. We should take a look at the values. Okay, for the Dark Elf player, Gandalf. Lord, a little over 1,000 damage. Not too bad. She did actually do a good job running around, keeping the Bone Giant busy. Probably did kill a decent amount of infantry. The Hag, the War Hag, Death Hag, really not getting that much value. But you got to consider it was giving some of these infantry units quite a few buffs while it was still alive. But it did get taken out quite quickly. The rest of the infantry all doing pretty well. The Witch Elves doing pretty nicely. Sisters of Slaughter, yeah, not quite paying for themselves some of these things, but doing really good. The Shades are what was carrying this guy big time. The Shades were doing work. I couldn't quite take them out, and yeah, they just did work. They killed all my big stuff, killed my Lord. Should have got on them sooner, but that I made it way more difficult for myself. Excuse me, not targeting those. My Lord over here, he basically shot all of his ammunition. It's going to show me a value. There we go. Just about 2,700 in gold value, so very nice gold value, 190 kills. Very happy with that. WARSPHINX also paid for itself, a little over 2,000. The Scorpion did not do so well. That wasn't the Scorpion's fault. That was my fault. I did not micro him very well. Kind of lost track in the chaos and let him get on a little bit of not the best targets for him and took a little bit too much damage. Bone Giant really coming through, doing awesome. Almost 2,500 damage or gold value, which was really nice. Took out some really big targets on the other side. So I was really happy with the Bone Giant. Definitely going to be taking those again when we play some more Tomb Kings. Skeleton Warriors, they're just whatever. They were in the front line. Spears as well. Tomb Guard did okay. Didn't pay for themselves or anything. Archers did all right. And the Carrion actually did really good. They both paid for themselves, or together they paid for themselves, and took out an entire unit of Shade. So I was pretty happy with those, actually. Next time, if I get a matchup like this, instead of the Carrion, which did do well, I'll probably take some like Skeletal Horsemen or something. Something to skirmish back with or run things off, you know, so they can't just like hammer in on me for free. But I also did have archers, but they were kept busy by the Dark Riders, the flying Raven Heralds. So GG to my opponent, and thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.